I'm recording.
Yeah.
You always picking, Captain. Always
Yeah,
picking.
he is.
You're always picking.
Look at him. They need to beat his ass. Because they want to do something to somebody anyway.
You kicked that door in. You always picking. You don't even
Yeah,
know
bring
what
up my
you
word.
do. Come on down.
Eddie, stay in that car.
You're going to pay for busting my window out. You're
Hi, welcome to another episode of Carr2Carr. I'm Ramon.
And hi, I'm Dana. And today we'll discuss a case about a random video, where I saw this gentleman in the parking lot of Walmart fighting with a police officer while his family was recording. They just were recording and talking trash. What do you think about this video?
It's crazy. I mean, it's a lot of videos now that are just coming up with the police fighting with random people or just situations. And this one was wild. You know, you see it just immediately comes on. You can't even really tell which police department it is unless you really slow down the frame, take pictures and this and that. But, you know, you see this officer tussling, and at first I didn't know if the family was egging on the police officer to get the guy, or eventually I found out it was a reverse, you know, because apparently this police officer was harassing the family, kicked in the door, broke a window, or, you know, this was interesting. So I don't know. I just got some advice for all three people, but I'll let you say your part, and I'll come back and give my own advice.
I mean, the crazy part for me is I was just thinking, man, it would have been easier for whatever reason for this guy to comply with the officer. And kudos to the officer, because he stayed in the fight.
He did.
mean, he stayed in that fight, and he was by himself for quite some time. So that's one thing. Kudos for him for staying in the fight. But I was thinking that the suspect should have just complied, because when he and his family look back at that video while he's sitting in jail for some years, they're going to be like, man, it wasn't worth it. Maybe I should have just complied.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because it was just really unnecessary. And, man, the family would definitely, I would definitely take them to jail too.
For sure.
The family is definitely going to jail.
So these are the things that I have. So for the citizens, I would say, hey, listen, don't fight with the police. You know, I don't know what the circumstance was, but for the most part, there's not too many circumstances where fighting the police straight up is legal. You know, and the police has a right to defend himself. Yeah. And so this just really looked bad. And so if you're going to film from a distance, and try to stay calm. Calm the suspect down instead of egging him on. Even if the police officer was doing some things bad, kicked in your door, broke your window, you don't egg on someone else to fight the police. This is not two citizens fighting. You're fighting a police officer, and you don't know to what degree this police officer is willing to stop this situation. I mean, we've seen so many times when police officers are killing people for less. And so you egging on this person, then now you're going to come with the, oh my God, Officer so-and-so, he shouldn't have killed Jimmy. He was a good man. And this, we don't want to get to that. So try to calm the situation down. Try not to incite this entire situation. Comply first, complain later. I have to keep saying this: comply first, complain later. If the officer illegally kicked in your door, make a complaint. If they broke your window, make a complaint. I know people don't like to make complaints and think they go anywhere, but from someone who was an IA and from someone who was very proactive before I got to IA, I can tell you that I got a lot of complaints I probably shouldn't have gotten. But when I get to IA and I see how these things work, eventually it catches up with you. And so we do a holistic look at these situations when you're in internal affairs and you revisit the officers who are the most aggressive and who have the most complaints and stuff like that. We have what we call an early warning system. And so when you get a certain amount of complaints or anything like that, you do in fact go in this system. And so what does it trigger? It triggers internal affairs to do some undercover operations where you actually go out, you watch people's calls, you create calls, and to see how people are going to act. So it does work. Making these complaints does work, believe it or not. Officer, like you said, hey, great job for staying in the fight. If there's any one point that you could have pushed away, and especially when he ran away, you know, I know our adrenaline's pumping. Like, let him go. Watch where he goes. Set up a perimeter, and give be on the lookout. Give a bolo, because at the end of the day, when you look at this, I'm sure it's going to be something minor, you know. And then there was 3 suspects. There wasn't one. So you don't know what those other 2 people were willing to do to save their family member or their friend's life. And so when I looked at it, I was like, man, you know, everybody's probably looking at this like there's just one suspect, but there was 3.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and all 3 will be going to jail. And last thing I would say to that is citizens, bystanders, anybody else other than the family who were, to me, a part of the situation. If you see an officer struggling and you see that there's no backup, call the police. You can call the police and advise of that situation so you can get help to that officer immediately. So 911, and let them know that you have an officer fighting that need assistance, and they will get officers to him immediately, he or she immediately.
Oh, that was a great point. And it may save both of their lives.
Yes.
You don't know what is happening. Like, again, if someone's getting the best of me and I fall and this person's on top of me discharging my weapon, I can articulate that all day, and I'll be safe. You know, the shooting will be okay. So a lot of respect, a lot of, what is the phrase I'm trying to say? A lot of leeway is given to police officers in these situations, because at the end of the day, you're not supposed to be head up fading a police officer. I don't care how mad you get, comply, complain, you know. That's all I got.
That's all I have. So there's another episode of Carr2Carr Podcast. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And
until next time.
Till next time.